everybody. Welcome back to...
Welcome back.
I know, it's been a while. For those of you that don't know this gentleman here, his name's Bucky Beeman, well-known guy in the Rochester community. He was gracious enough to join me on this beautiful Tuesday. He's a busy guy. He's slated about, I think I got a half hour with you today, if we go that long. Bucky and I actually had a conversation last week. We met for lunch, and we talked about how we want to start, and I think you're going to implement this too, kind of, and help me out with it if you want. People of the internet, and in the caption there, that's kind of what the title of this whole go live kind of deal is, because there's so many people in our community that have a strong influence on the internet. You talk about followers, and you talk about public figures in our community who do that, and I think you're one of them. Maybe you don't have as many followers as other people, but you're working for your own personal brand. Kind of describe to me, Bucky, what you do first in Rochester for people that might not know you.
Can I use it? Can I hold it?
Yeah,
I can hold it.
Yeah.
Nice. I like this setup. I'm a commercial real estate agent here in Rochester. I got into business right out of high school and have been involved in business in different ways all the way throughout my career. And commercial real estate has been really the passion that it's now turned into that is stuck for me. And I'm a part of a team called Realty Growth Incorporated. And our team works actively in the market to help businesses find space for lease, to help investors find buildings for purchase. Right. So we're active in some of the things that are occurring related to DMC and just how this city is changing. So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a local young professional that loves business, and also I really like the internet and how it can affect business, how it can affect life. You talk about how personalities are using it, but even how people are building internet businesses. Like I met a guy in Iota that has Tree Frog is the name of his business. I can't remember the exact name, and he sells online on Amazon little statues, army soldiers all over the world. He has international buyers and things like that. And so that's an example of someone that's using the internet to build a business. So that's me. That's who I am.
I mean, you've you know plenty of people in the Rochester community, probably more so in the real estate side of things. Describe to me why people need to shift towards this internet scheme. Why can't we stick to our old values? I know our old values are still good, you know, being on the ground, handshaking, face-to-face interactions. I still love that way of connecting with people. But describe to me why the internet's the new thing and how you need to brand yourself and your company on the internet.
I think one thing is you don't have to shift. You know, there's some business
if
people
working for you, why would you, right?
Right. You don't absolutely have to shift by any means. But I think people that recognize it as a tool that can help you exceed in whatever you're doing. If you're running for city council, right? You're seeing people that are running for city council that are using social media to let their opinions be heard, which helps build their community, which then helps get them elected. So people that recognize the tool is out there and the tool is ever changing and the tool is not going to go away. Like, we're still in the infant stages of how people are using the internet. This is your first recording of this type with this setup, and so it's only going to increase as far as the amount of stuff that's available online. So you don't have to change, but if you use it, you can really use it to your advantage, I feel like, to excel in your career, even if you're looking to get a job somewhere, the way you market yourself as an individual online.
Let's back it up. Let's back up to the young Bucky Beeman. For those of you, just a little plug for you guys. Your dad owns a business in town, Snappy Stop. You know, great business, local guy. And I know you've helped out with your dad. And I know he's helping you out with RGI a little bit here and there. So shout out to, I don't know your dad's name, but
Bob.
Easy enough.
He's right now. He's flipping burgers.
Yeah. Let's back up though to the young Bucky, Mayo High School. Century High School. What made you decide, you know, everybody's, you know, pushing you out of high school, go to college, get your degree. Why didn't you do that? And why did you do what you're doing now? Because you didn't go to college, right?
Right.
So why not? Why no college? And did you already have your mind set on what you wanted to do? You had your vision. You knew what you had to do, the tests you had to take, the licensing you had to get. And maybe my follow-up question to that is, what got you interested in that field?
So shout out to my parents, because my parents helped me at least be comfortable with not having to necessarily go to college, and so that was a blessing. Because
I know a lot of parents pressure kids to, you know, their kids, you got to go to college, and which that's important. Get a degree. It sets you apart from other people. but you didn't.
And so college for me was definitely a choice, and what I elected to do is just go the business route. And I think there was probably, I didn't know this, but there was probably still the option that, hey, if things didn't pan out, my parents would still support me with the decision to go to college if I wanted to, and they supported me going the business route. But originally it was not business at all. For me, it was just following my passion, and it was actually outdoor filming of the hunting industry. I really loved outdoor filming, and it was just becoming a thing where you could actually make that into a career. Right. And then when I figured out that that wasn't necessarily what I wanted to be my career, it turned into a lawn care business, which turned into, actually HD Creations was the first business where I videotaped weddings and things like that. And the entrepreneurial journey began shortly after. There was an individual that recommended I get my real estate license. I didn't know that it was going to become my life, like it was actually going to become my career. I think originally it was just to have to see what I could learn, but very quickly I learned that commercial real estate was something that became my passion as well.
Why is that exciting, this job that you do? Why is it exciting? I mean, you work for people, you see the maybe the remodel, or they purchase a building, and you see, you know, the everlasting, their business grow. I mean, you're part of that in each one that you help maybe lease out or sell. What do you love about your job?
I just like how it's ever changing. You hear that a lot about different careers, but I can go from talking to a small business owner that doesn't have a brick and mortar to talking to somebody that's been around and in it for years, and they're both at different points in their career, and my team and I can help them navigate what would be potentially the best decision for not just their business but for their life. So I like the ever-changing aspect to it. I also like how you can take it into so many different things related to commercial real estate, such as development being one, remodeling being one, helping clients find space, helping change the way the city feels from the way it's planned to where the walking paths are to the way that the development interacts with the community to developing places. So I think I like commercial real estate just because it's not the same thing every single day, and it allows me to meet so many interesting people. When we talk about people of the internet, the only way I've met these people of the internet is because of really my career in commercial real estate and having a passion to help them get a brick and mortar if they want that.
Going back to the internet, I mean, you're on all platforms. I mean, you are pushing Snapchat, you are pushing Instagram, you are pushing Facebook, you are pushing Twitter, whatever. Why is that important to be on all social media platforms? And I know you and I have had this conversation, and you're soon going to be starting your own podcast and doing your own stuff, which is exciting. But why is that important in this day and age for you to do that? And I know you have more dreams and aspirations to build your own brand, and we can talk about more of that later, but why is that important to stretch out and do every single platform? Because, and we'll talk about this more too, is your Thursday market update stuff. We'll get into that soon, but why is it important to do all aspects of social media?
Because everybody is on different channels that they like, whether that's because of the interface and the way they interact with it, or because of that's the only one they know. So for example, my father is on Facebook and Snapchat, and he's not on any other platform. Right. So if I'm going to be in front of my father when I produce content, I have to be on one of those platforms. And then each platform kind of has its own unique functionality to it that adds to the way you can interact with people, build your brand, and just be active. So Twitter is a great place. I call it public texting. It's a great place to text basically anybody else that has an account that's active.
You have 140 characters, right? You can't write a novel.
Right. And Snapchat is like my way of documenting my journey throughout the day. And YouTube is a way to do large format video to put it out there that it lasts forever, where Snapchat goes away. So being active on all of them, or if it's not all of them, some key ones can really lead to you building your brand in a strategic manner that leads to growth on all platforms. And also, let's be real, the platform might go away someday. Right. And so if you're only on that one platform, then what happens is you're subject to that platform going away, and your followers now have no way of finding you. Yeah. So being active on multiple is extremely important.
Talk to me about your followers. Again, I just mentioned you're on a bunch of stuff. Let's talk to your most following, and which app is it, and how many followers do you have?
I think my most following is probably Twitter. But the one that I have the most fun with is probably Snapchat, and the reason being because I have real estate agents from around the country that follow me, and they end up asking questions, or I follow their journey related to marketing and what they're doing in their business, in their market. And so Snapchat is where I have probably the best relationships, which actually has led to meeting up with these people in real life, and we feel like we know each other because we follow each other's journey on Snapchat. So Snapchat is by far one of my favorite platforms. And then Facebook, I'm somewhat active on. YouTube, I'm starting to build a following on, and I enjoy that one just because all the functionalities it has related to search and how people can stumble across you. I had a Google Hangout with a guy that was getting started in his commercial real estate career, and he found me through YouTube, and we ended up producing a video that we distributed on YouTube talking about what he should do in the infant stages of his career, and the only way he found me was through that search engine of YouTube and Google.
I just had the question and now I lost it. Let's talk about Thursday Market Update because that's on my mind. That's something where you'll show people that are in Kansas City, your Snapchat people, or you'll show local people the market update. I even watch your market updates because I might get a story on it. I didn't know that this local business was coming to town, or I didn't know that Holiday gas station was now bought through Canada or something. I think you mentioned on one of them. That's kind of a cool niche that you have, I think, and maybe you copycatted somebody else who does it in a different state or city, but that's kind of a cool niche. And why'd you start doing that? Maybe explain to people what Thursday Market Update is. So
the Thursday Market Update I do on Snapchat. I try to do it every Thursday. I miss every once in a while, but what I do is go around Rochester and just do an update of where the commercial real estate market is at, what new businesses are coming to town, where developments are at in the building process, even new signage. Like I noticed new signage in town, so I'll just point out this company got a new sign. And what it's done for me is created something that I have to do on social media every single week. And I had never have had that in the past, and we just got out of a meeting where we talked about consistency. So it makes me be consistent on my content, which leads to...
People expected that. You get that following if you maybe slip up on a Thursday, and they're like, well, we expected the Thursday Market Update, and we didn't get it. I mean, it keeps you...
Right.
On your toes.
So that's what it is, and I like it because it does build that consistency, and it's fun. It's fun. The businesses I've met, I've just stumbled into businesses and be like, you're new here. And they're like, yeah. And I said, do you mind if I put you on Snapchat? And they're like, sure. What do I have to pay? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just going to ask you what's new about your business. So that's my Thursday Market Update on Snapchat.
Let's talk about this city and what's behind us right now. Obviously, maybe if you probably can't see it to our right is the new Mayo Civic Center and how this city is changing. When you look back and how important that decision was for you, and that maybe that mentor that said get your real estate license or commercial real estate license, and how you're in a good city right now for your business right now. You're in an upcoming city. You have Mayo Clinic that drives it, other businesses that drive it. Describe to me how this is a nice city for you to help people and to do business with the whole DMC, and that's Destination Medical Center.
So it's a good city just because there's many reasons, but one reason I like to share related to my career is when I go to other markets and people ask, what do you do? And you say you're in commercial real estate. And if they know anything about commercial real estate, what they'll generally ask is, what do you specialize in?
Okay.
And the response in big markets would be industrial, hotels, retail. Well, Rochester's that perfect size that you really can't specialize in anything, and especially when you're building a career, and expect that to allow you to build your career in an easy format. And so here I get to see so much and do so much. I'll be working with somebody moving out of their basement to working with a developer that wants to expand their holdings in the local market. And I don't know other markets that I talk to other people in commercial real estate that have that same comparison. They specialize. DMC, it's exciting. It's exciting times. It's exciting to see all the different entities that are either thinking about making changes or actually making changes. And it's not just one institution. It's not just Mayo. It's not just one developer. It's not just one small business. It's so many at the same time. And so I think that's what's so exciting about it is you're seeing changes and conversations occur that are leading to building what I think is going to be an even better city than we already are.
Let me just play devil's advocate for, let's say, somebody who's maybe against the growth. They don't want the growth. They grew up here 40 years ago, and they see all this changing. They're knocking down houses. They're building up these skyscrapers and whatnot. What do you say to those people who have lived here and who still like their Rochester 40 years ago, and don't want to see Mayo Clinic take it over?
Well, first off, Mayo Clinic isn't going to take it over.
That's just the core,
right? Right. I get it.
Thinking.
I guess my thoughts are their voice can be heard. So these meetings about change, let's say Discovery Square, which DMC, Mortensen groups are looking to develop, you can go to the public meetings and let your voice be heard related to how
talk to the developer,
how you want it to feel in your neighborhood. And I don't know of a community that I can relate to that has made it so transparent that allows these voices to be heard, and then those voices actually lead to things being changed in a way that their opinion mattered. And so I think that the way that it's all played out, people's voices are heard, and those voices then are leading to our city becoming what everybody wants in some fashion. So to not think change is going to happen, I think is naive. Yeah. Frankly, it's like the internet. Like, we can sit here and say, eventually TV might be gone. There might not be, certain channels and things like that because people are doing it on this phone, and people can say, well, I don't want that to happen. Well, it's going to happen. Like, you can't stop it. Like, the change is going to occur. Rochester has continually changed. And so I think people recognizing that change is going to occur, it's inevitable, but you can actually allow your voice to affect the change. I think that's the coolest thing ever, because what communities allow that to actually be part of the fabric.
So follow-up to that is, why is change good for a community? You look at Uber and Lyft and that debate. Remember that debate and how long it took to get these ride-sharing companies, these TNCs, into Rochester, and how it was a headache for people trying to get them in. It really was. And obviously you have your cab companies. I'm sure you know some business owners for cab companies in town, Med City, and you got Yellow Cab and whatnot. And obviously they're upset about it, which rightfully so. Why is change good, and why is it good for the market? That was just an example for the bigger DMC.
Well, I think change is good because other places are changing, and we have to keep up with the way the world is changing and continually be number one related to so many things. So if you want to continually be the leader, change is going to happen, and so that's why change is good. I think change is also good because people change, what people want, what people need. So for example, affordable housing has been a hot topic around town, and 20 years ago we may not have needed as much affordable housing as we do today. Well, either we change and make it available, or we don't change. If we don't change, there's going to be an effect to it. If we do change, there's going to be an effect to it. So I think change is good because it leads to good outcomes just as well as bad outcomes. It can be both sides, but with the proper planning, with the proper people, with the proper advocates, with people that are active, like, it leads to good change overall.
Were you born in Rochester? Okay, so you are a Rochester native.
OMC.
Yeah, OMC. Will you ever move to a bigger market, bigger city, to do bigger things, or is this somewhere where you will hunker down, you will build your business, you will continue your passion here and work for Rochester? Because we know this DMC thing is going to take some time, and by the time it's done, you and I will be old, older. 20 years from now, I'll be 25. No. That made no sense.
You're gonna get old.
No, we're gonna get old. But will you leave? Have you ever had aspirations to maybe, and I want to go to a bigger market?
No, I don't. I like Rochester a lot. I don't see myself leaving. I see myself having a family here. I think it relates to my family. Like, this has been our home the entire time, and I'm not one for going to a different place. This is home to me, so I don't think I'll do that. I like Rochester a lot. I like it.
For people that just met you, now they kind of have your backstory, Rochester native guy. Tell me what's next for you. What are you working on? You're obviously, you're working on getting a podcast going to market yourself and also market your company, RGI. What's next for you? What are you working on?
Continually helping clients with their business goals. So that's
Number one.
Next. Yeah, and my team excel in their career and just excel overall. But also, I'm very passionate about video. I'm very passionate about the internet and how you can use it in your business and personal career. So I am wanting to start a podcast. When I hang out with people that are creators like yourself and just doing this on the iPhone, like, it makes me want to go and try to do that. So I think using the internet is just going to continually be what's next for me to help my career excel and my team excel. What else is next? I'm going hunting this fall. I can't wait to go archery hunting. That's coming up.
Where do you guys hunt without giving away the
secret spot? It's a big oak tree just next to the river. No, it's in Houston County is one spot that we've gone before, and also we're fortunate to have some spots here in Rochester. You can actually archery hunt in the city limits of Rochester if you do a proficiency test and you're properly licensed.
Did you know that? Hunters out there, maybe they didn't know that. Maybe near the area, they didn't know that.
Right.
What was I going to say now? I'm losing my train of thought here. Anything else that you just like to say about, I mean, your experience and, you know, your work ethic? And, you know, I genuinely, you know, appreciate people like yourself and people that are hard workers and are constantly busy and are trying to do new things and having your voice be heard. We talked about that. You're at plenty of meetings, you're on boards, whatnot, whatever you do. And I genuinely appreciate that, and I connect with people that do that because, like myself, I like to get out there and meet people. And I know we were trying to figure out when we first met, but we met over a year and a half ago, I'm sure. But I appreciate it, and I know you work with creative minds. Like, we had a meeting with Alex, the barber Alex, and
30,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Right, he'll be on next. You know, people of the internet. No, but this is a cool thing that we're doing. Anything else that you just like to say about yourself, or?
Not so much about myself, but I think maybe drawing attention to some of the cool businesses that are making things happen or individuals that are making things happen.
Give some shout outs. Yeah.
So like Alex, who we just met with, he has a barber shop on 37th Street. We went to Century High School together. He is growing in his career, and he's using the internet. If you see him on YouTube, it's Adrian the Barber, and he has 30,000 subscribers. And I think that's cool because not so many people know about that. There's a guy on Musical.ly, which if you're not under 15, you probably don't know what, if you don't have kids under 15, you probably don't know what Musical.ly is. But Musical.ly is a lip syncing, kind of like Vine back in the day. There's a guy from Rochester, Nate Evans, and then he goes to school at the University of Minnesota, and he has like 500,000 followers, I think, on Musical.ly. So I think that's really cool. I think there's people that are using the internet in unique ways that we don't even see. And I think that's just super cool to see. I can't wait to see them interviewed on here to learn more about what they're doing and what they're up to.
Maybe steal some ideas, right?
Steal some ideas. It's inspiration. That's the thing with the internet. Like, you can break the walls of your community much easier than ever before, meaning you can do business in other places, know people in other places, because you can connect with them via the internet. Right. So that's super cool. I'm excited to see what you do. What do you think? I'm going to spin it. What do you think the future is of television? We'll keep it broad, but just television channels. Yeah. Television channels in general. So we talk about the key, like CNBC, NBC, things like that. Like, how are you seeing the future of those channels and what they're doing to stay relevant?
You know, I was at a conference, and it was a storytellers conference, and that's people who generally care about the story that they're telling every day, and that's our job as journalists, is to tell good stories. If that's, you know, a everyday story, a crime story, or if it's a feature story on a guy who has one leg and is doing something great, he's running marathons, whatever. I think there's still, people are still going to want to watch the good stories. Those are never going to go away. And whether that's on TV or not, we still need good storytellers. And that's what I enjoy about my job is, you know, going out, meeting you, out on the street or, you know, in a meeting or whatever, meeting you and hearing, hey, what's your story? Tell me what's your background. And maybe they have a great story to tell, and let's tell it. I don't think that will go away. I think the way people are getting their news, and everybody knows it, I mean, that's no secret. People are getting their news differently, and that's on probably your cell phone, your iPad.
Will everybody still have a television inside their house, do you feel?
That's the thing, I don't know, because people our age and millennials older and younger, they don't. I've talked to people, they don't even have cable, and it makes me disappointed because obviously I'm TV, and that's how, you know, at the end of the day, that's where we pay our bills, and it's kind of disappointing, and I kind of ask them why and kind of just have a clean conversation with them. But as back to your question, I don't know, will you, like, you might not have cable right now, let's just say you don't, as a millennial yourself, okay, you don't. Will you instill your father, your grandfather's values in watching the news every night, which they might have when they were growing up, or they might have still now. Do you see yourself doing it that way, or do you see it just totally changing? And I'm going to spin it back.
I do watch the news, but I feel like shorter format than what other people do. And so even looking at Snapchat, and they have the discovery portion, and there's like the sports discovery, and I'll click on that, and that's how I get what is happening in sports. And so I don't think I watch it long format. Everybody's different, but I will not watch it long format. I'll watch it through a different channel, such as Snapchat or other ones. But
you don't get local news, though. Like, do you care about our local news?
Heck yeah, I care about local news. But is local news producing it on those same platforms in a place that I can watch it? And they're not. But the people that are, an example is the Med City Beat. Like he's on Facebook. The Med City Beat puts their posts on Facebook. I keep up with their
Hey, we do it too, though. Every story.
As well, though.
Right. Every story that we push on our website, we right away, boom, get it on Facebook, put the link on there. And we're heavily on Facebook. We have over 100,000 followers on our Facebook. So back to your original question, yeah, it's going to change, and we gotta be, and I'm blanking on the word right now, proactive. We got to get ahead of that change. So we can't let that change get away from us. We need to get ahead of it. And that's something that I'm working on right now, is obviously interviewing people on the ground, talking to yourself, talking to another Tim Nella, who's known in the community, talking to Nathan or Nate, the music guy. Hopefully, he chats with me a little bit. Alex, these guys who you wouldn't know until somebody tells you, or somebody that might have some followers. I don't have that many, but he has more, and we can branch out, and it's a sharing deal where I interview him, he's got the followers, and I got my followers, and my followers will, his haircuts, that's kind of cool what he does. And then, he's that news guy, and he's kind of behind the scenes. That's kind of cool. I want to see more of him. I want to see him more professional tonight at 10. So it's a way to maybe extract people towards the TV. But again, we're pushing web. We're still, on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We have a Snapchat account. We don't do it well enough. That was always my goal, too, when I started, because me, I love Snapchat, just like yourself. That was always my goal, was to get a professional work Snapchat handle. And to just show people behind the scenes, like, hey, we're interviewing Bucky about how commercial real estate is impacting Rochester right now or whatever. Just show people the behind the scenes, because people love that. We just talked to Ryan today, and he's like, dude, I watched your guys' Facebook Live last night at 10 o'clock, and it was just so cool to see you guys interact.
He showed his mom.
And he showed his mom.
Yeah.
Because she didn't have cable.
She didn't have cable.
So it'll be interesting, but like I said, we got to be proactive and get ahead of that change.
Right.
Because that change is coming. So, anything else?
Any tips for people that want to shoot video like this on the go? Any tips so far that you can give to anybody? And I'm asking selfishly as well as to people that are maybe watching on here.
Our setup that we have right now, if you have a phone, you're set. Anybody that has a phone can go live and do what they want to do. You guys are on a tripod right now. You guys watching, I bought a tripod that's $30 on Amazon. I bought a white adapter, which I lost. You should already have that with your iPhone when you purchase it, an iPhone 6, 7, or whatever. And then the adapter from iPhone to XLR, which is what our mic is plugged into right now, that was probably $20. And so yeah, to start up, set aside $100 just to be safe. And you can be mobile. And I know we joked about it, but we could have done it where I put the adapter in my pocket. We could have been walking around Rochester and said, maybe this is a project, maybe this is a building that you're trying to lease out, and we could even promote it. You know what I mean? We could do that sort of realm too. So.
And how about a tip? How about a tip of getting over the fear of actually hitting live?
I know.
That's and you had to work up to that too, because you're in front of the camera every night almost.
Yeah, every night. That comes with practice. Anything practice. If you want to be a good baseball player and hit the ball, you practice. It takes practice. It takes getting over that nerve of, I'll be honest, when I hit live with us right now, I was a little bit shaky. The adrenaline. I love the adrenaline. I think that's something too where I love. But now I'm comfortable. We're fine. We've been doing this for a half hour now.
I love that I don't think anybody's watching.
I know.
That's what I love. And then afterwards, we're going to look back and be like, oh, snap, someone did actually watch that.
There's probably one comment or two, and we can't see the comments right now if you comment. That's the one thing. If you had your phone pulled up right now and you were watching us, we could honestly look down and see if anybody was commenting and said, yeah, Kayla, we did, talked. Which we maybe should have done, and maybe we'll do that next time with somebody else. But tip, if you have a phone, I mean, you're golden. And Facebook allows you to go live, and that's something interesting where live as it's happening. So let's say if you're at a crime scene and you want to go live and be that reporter, and it turns out it's a huge case, and you just have 1 million followers after that. It's crazy what you do. And it was interesting before I started this whole thing is I was never about likes on Facebook, and after having conversations with yourself and maybe like the stationary astronauts and how important the internet thing is, it's like I got to get ahead of this game, and that's why I'm doing this stuff, and you inspired me to do it, and
so
I appreciate it.
What's next for people of the internet? Who are you looking for? What type, like anybody, or what's your thoughts?
Let's call some people out. So Alex, of course, we just talked today. If you're still watching, hi Alex. I would love to get him, somebody that's influential, somebody that's doing great things. He's a Rochester native like yourself. He owns his own business, and he's driven to succeed. He's building his own website. He's doing all this great stuff. Let's interview him. And he's doing great things on the internet. He's got, like you said, 30,000 subscribers on YouTube. He does how-to YouTubes on how to, cut a good haircut, or however you say it. Cut hair, right? Cut hair. So he could be next. I could interview him on, tomorrow. I can interview him Thursday if he's available. Go to his barbershop. I've never actually been there. I've just seen your Snapchats. There's actually a lady who I know, and she might be watching actually, because she's so internet heavy. I actually met her in St. Cloud at a wedding from a buddy who I played St. Cloud State baseball with. He met his wife in St. Cloud, so they had the wedding there where they met. And he's from West Concord, in Dodge County area, Dodge Center area. And she's from that area. She came up just by talking to her. I said, "Oh, what's her name?" And Corey Graham, if you're watching, hi Corey. She's an educator in Byron, and I'm forgetting her specialty. She does a lot of public speaking. She has 12,000 followers on Facebook. And it's like, what are you doing about education? Yeah. Cool. And it's cool, and I'll drive to Byron, I'll drive to Dodge Center where she's from, and I'll go interview her, and that's cool. We're mobile. I can take up my stuff and I can go anywhere. So she could be next. I would love to talk to you, Corey, if you're interested. You're friends with me, message me, I'll message you. I'm trying to think who else. Nathan, I know you reached out to him. I don't think we've heard back yet from him. Hopefully we can hear back from him. I'd love to sit down. I love music. I like what he's doing too. Maybe this Mayo Clinic doctor.
Yeah, there's a lady, Andrea Tooley is her name, I believe. Andrea Tooley, I think is her name.
Yeah. I feel like I've talked to her. I recognize Tooley. Yeah, I recognize that name. That would be awesome. Oh, Dodge County Sheriff wants to do it. Cool. He follows me and wants to talk public safety and what they have going on. He's been revamping the whole the courthouse, security, all this. They have so many upgrades. Updates, all this stuff. And he's heavily on Twitter. And another guy, Scott Rose. So he's willing to do it too. So, all
right, let's wrap it up.
Thank you guys so much. I got to get up to say goodbye, but Bucky, say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching.